recording. So welcome everyone to your to the customer retention contest. It has been, waiting room. There we go. It's been super fun for me to see how your prototypes are coming along and to have some of these conversations with you about some of you are still doing interviews, which is really cool. Some of you still have surveys, which are active. And I love also when you all are able to share with each other. And I would encourage you to keep sharing ideas, keep sharing your prototypes, keep sharing your websites with each other, ask questions, use the Discord. The Discord is going to start getting really active. We have a couple of alumni moderators now on the Discords. And so there are a lot of super exciting things that are happening. But for now, the focus of this particular session is probably one of the most important sessions that we do here at SOF, and this is on customer retention, because it should be fairly obvious that you can create the most beautiful website, you can create the most spectacular app, it can be beautiful looking and pretty, and you put all this time into your mission statement, and you spend hours and hours and hours choosing a logo and spend, forever trying to pick out a name. That's great. But if nobody comes back to your site, if nobody returns to your product, if nobody comes back to your app, then literally all of your hard work is for nothing. So you want people to feel connected to your product. You want them to feel tied to your product, and you also want them to feel like they are part of a community. So it's not, it shouldn't be that difficult to understand that the number one measure of success for a startup is how many times people keep coming back to that product. So without further ado, we are going to start with, one second, I'm messaging everyone in the waiting room, which is not correct. Okay, we're gonna start with, can anybody guess what we're gonna start with?
Chatterfall. Right?
Yes, I think you said it first also last time, Iyad. Should be no surprise, we're gonna start with the Chatterfall. And this Chatterfall is designed to get you to start really thinking about customer retention, about what makes people come back to products. Okay, so the first question, and I'm just going to give you 30 seconds, and then I'll ask you to Chatterfall. 30 seconds. So the first question. When was the last time you downloaded an app and then you never opened it again? So let me put this just in here. So when was the last time you downloaded an app and then you never opened it again? Just when was it? I'll give you 30 seconds. Sorry?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, I put it also in the chat. When was the last time that you downloaded an app and then you never opened it again? I'll give you 30 seconds. It might help also if you want to look at your phone and see an app that maybe you downloaded and just forgot about it. And 3, 2, 1, Chatterfall. Oh, wow. These are, is this week in the past? Okay. See, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So as we can see, how do I turn off the stupid timer? So as we can see, I think maybe outside from Lara, who is maybe more particular about her app choices, nearly all of you within the last month or so have downloaded an app and never returned to it again. Think of how much work that person must have put into that app or that website. You got it, you downloaded it, you thought it looked pretty, never opened it again. Okay, so now I want to know, what was the app that you downloaded and never opened again? And why did you never open that app again? It can be for like a silly, stupid reason, that's fine. So the last time, so this app that you downloaded, what was the app and why did you not open it again? I'm going to give you 1 minute and starts now. It's okay. You anyway are finishing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm gonna give you just a second to look over what all of your colleagues are saying for the reasons that they walked away from a particular app. These are really, really, really important to know, because these are just in each other. You have a good way of gauging what makes people leave an app, what makes people walk away from it. Thanks, Miriam. I didn't know that there was an app called Just Dance Now. Oh, here's Adam. Excellent. Workout app. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, these are good. So just very quickly look at each other's, because you need to understand why people do not return to apps or products. So just get some of those thoughts in your mind. Next question. I'm just going to give you 30 seconds for this one. How do you know what to do when you first start using a product? How do you know what to do, where to start when you first start using a product? I'll give you 30 seconds, starting now.
Hi, Sandia. What are we doing?
We're doing Chatterfall. Welcome, Adam. Just join in.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and Chatterfall. Figure it out as you go along. Explanation, an organized feed. That's excellent, Nadine. Excellent. A description or a video. Intuition, maybe if the product is good enough. Learn by using, that's great. Yep. Yep. Product guidelines. Yeah, no, that's correct, Kevin. It really should be, yep, complicated. If people need, I mean, that's the point, right? If people need to spend time simply figuring out what this app does, simply figuring out what this website does, if they have to spend time doing that, they're gonna walk away, right? The best ones, the ones that people come back to, is when they can land right up and they can immediately see, this is the thing that I need to do first. So you need to think about that. Okay, and then another 30 seconds. What makes you as a person, what makes you want to keep using an app or a website? Oops, I sent that direct message to Iad, so he'll get it twice.
Yeah, it's fine.
What makes you want to keep using an app or a website? I'll give you 30 seconds. And 3, 2, 1, Chatterfall. All right. Same thing again, just take a quick look at everybody else's answers. Yeah. Clean design. Don't like to pay for an app. Yeah. Useful and functional. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, that's actually, Malak, you brought up a really good point, not just because it's the SOAF platform, but you talk about doing challenges, getting points, getting higher and higher. So we're going to be looking also at reward systems, because one of the things that keeps people coming back to an app is some sort of recognition or reward. So now I want you to get a little bit more specific, and I am actually, I'm gonna do this in 2 ways actually. So first, if you can just mention one product or service that you keep coming back to. What is one like an actual, you as a person, one product or service that you keep using all the time? And 30 seconds for that.
It can be like anywhere, or it has to be like something specific.
I mean, like an app or a website
All right.
that you keep coming back to. Yeah.
Wait, it can't be a product, right? Or it can?
It can be a product, but one that's sort of linked to an online business, if you will, or one that is linked to a business.
Okay.
I'll give you my example as well. I'll give you 10 more seconds. And Chatterfall. Yeah. I love seeing what are people's favorite. See, I've never even heard of voice mod. Chrome, excellent. Instagram, yep, sure. Right. Apple, Netflix, yeah, man, what a good example. Sting, I don't think. Lizan, your compression tights, amazing. The SOAF platform, extra points to Malak. That's interesting. So no, I guess nobody uses Facebook here, huh? You can type in the chat here. Nobody uses Facebook. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna just pick on 1 or 2 of you, and I want you to explain why you keep coming back to this particular app. Excuse me. So Miriam, I'm going to call on you. Can you let everybody know, why do you keep coming back to Skyscanner? What is it about Skyscanner that keeps you coming back?
This app is okay. Can you hear me? Okay, this app is like an app that gives you it shows you tickets to travel or hotels and stuff. And I keep on using it because I travel a lot to see my dad, and sometimes me and my friends, we try to plan small trips. So I like to use it because it has a really good system. Like it shows really good prices and really good deals. So let's go back to it, and it's really organized.
Great, thank you. That was excellent. Marco, you're creating your travel app and your travel website, so you might want to pay attention also to what Miriam is saying, why she likes that particular one. That's really useful information. I will just pick two more people. Nadine, I want to know, see, I thought, just like you all think Facebook is dead, which is funny, which also may be a generational thing. I actually thought that Snapchat was dead. So I'm curious, Nadine, what keeps you coming back to Snapchat?
Well, I have some friends who only talk with me about on Snapchat. I don't know why. They also have my number, but we just keep talking on Snapchat. And yeah, so that's the most what I do. And I watch the stories of others, and sometimes I look what is on my feed and watch it too. But I don't use Snapchat that lot. Just for also a big thing why I use it is for the flames.
The
If you know what I mean.
flames.
Yes,
Streaks,
you can.
mean, right?
What?
Streaks.
Yes, I don't know how
Streaks.
it's called in English.
Okay, it's like a reward.
Streaks, yeah.
It's like a reward thing.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Cool, thank you. So so there's something on there that happens where you feel like, I got a flame or I got something exciting. Lizanne, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, just like I wanted to add about Snapchat is like, I don't really like talking to people all the time on Snapchat, because like I'll send somebody a message and then I'll forget what I said, because like the message is, I know you can do like a 24-hour, like save the chats for 24 hours, but then like if you forget and you just like said, and then the person responds and they're like, yes, and you're like, oh, I don't remember what I asked. And it's just like, but then it's also like, I like using Snapchat because like, I feel like it's a good way, because I have lots of friends, like we're all spread all over the world. So a nice way for me to kind of see, like keep updated with their lives, like what they're doing, like without having to speak to them all individually, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And I can kind of like, when I post something on my story, it's kind of like my friends can see what I'm doing without us having to have a conversation with every single one, because obviously that's like, we don't have time to have a conversation with every single person.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Facebook and Instagram operate on similar kind of principles. And it's interesting, Nadine, you had said that most of your friends are on Snapchat. So that's also a good point, that you will go where your community of friends is going. I don't know anybody on Snapchat, so I do not have the app, but I have most of my friends on Facebook and Instagram. So that's the one that I will use. Hassan, your hand is up.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to talk about Snapchat, Instagram, and YouTube, because I think Instagram connects you with a lot of people outside your own community.
Yep.
And you can discover new friends.
Yep.
And you can share memes and chats. So that is very interactive. And it is very easy to socialize and understand Instagram. And secondly, on Snapchat, we were talking about the reward system just a few minutes ago. So on Snapchat, you send each other snaps, like photos of something every day. So after some days, it is called a streak. And some people have streaks of 600 days, and some people have streaks of 1,000 days. So they don't want to break that chain. So they like enjoy the reward system of Snapchat, and that's why I keep coming back on Snapchat. And thirdly, on the YouTube, you have videos of everything. You have important stuff as well, and you have memes and funny content also. So like you have all the data and information on YouTube. So that's why people enjoy YouTube also. So these are like the main apps which everyone uses right now.
Well, I don't think that is necessarily the case, because I think also, as Iyad has pointed out, it does very much depend on your generation. Like everybody in my age group uses Facebook. And so
I wanted to say mostly. I wanted to say
but
mostly.
that's the point is not to think about. I mean, the point really is for any age group, for your target audience, what are the features about that particular product that makes people return? Like, I think you mentioned a really good point with YouTube, because you can also see maybe funny, entertaining content. So maybe something that also gets you to laugh, that can be a reason why people come back to a particular product. So the discussion isn't necessarily on which app is the most popular. It's about which, what kind of marketing and what kind of features make people from your target audience continue to come back. Because you may find once you pitch your product that your target audience is not actually your age group. Your target audience may actually be adults, maybe who have a lot of money. So it's important to understand what makes different groups of people come back to a particular service or app. My example is Spotify, actually. I have found Spotify. I have the paid version now. I started with the non-paying version for some time, and then decided this is worth my investment to buy the full paying subscription for Spotify. Because one of the things that I love the most about Spotify is how it gives me personalized music lists based on based on my history. So Spotify gives me playlists that they know that I will like based on my performance and my usage of the app. Right. So that is kind of, oops, sorry, randomly getting a call. So in that way, for me, I really like Spotify because it is personalized to my taste and my needs. Spotify knows my music tastes because over a time it has built up a database of my tastes, and so it curates and then gives me content. So I am on Spotify all the time. Okay, anyway, you get the picture. So I want you to think about not just the things that keep you coming back to a product, but look at what all of your peers and colleagues are also saying about what makes them come back to a particular product. You may want to write down some notes also at this stage, in case someone else has said something and you think, oh, wait a minute, I could really use that. I could really incorporate that into my product to make sure someone like Miriam comes back, to make sure someone like Nadine comes back. Think about some of these things that you want to be able to incorporate. Okay, so now, very quickly, I'm just going to show you a presentation on customer retention. Before that, though, I just want to say, does anybody have any questions? I know you can always raise your hand in the, I don't know what you call this, in the box thingy, in the Zoom thingy. I know you can raise your hand, but if, yeah, Amelia.
Like, what's about the products that are just once sold, like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I know. That is a challenge unless you have basically cornered the market, in my opinion. I was actually speaking to Lily, who's not here, but I was speaking to Lily about this because her product is to sell rabbit enclosures, which is at some level, you know, a one-time purchase. You purchase the enclosure and then you go away. I was telling her that there is a similar product that I use, which is a trap for catching feral cats for sterilization. So it's a one-time purchase. But what that site has now done, so they basically cornered the market. There's maybe 2 other companies in the world that make this particular kind of trap. But even for them, I think they started to realize that a one-time purchase was not enough to sustain them in the long term. So now they have an online community that they have started very recently, where you can go, you can speak to other people that are doing the cat trapping. You can get to know about rescue centers. You can donate to shelters, basically, because they understand that the more time I engage with their site, the more likely I am to have it sort of on the top of my head also to say, oh, wait a minute, you know, you should buy this trap. And now they have started selling accessories so that you can make your traps a little bit more fancy or make your cages a little bit more interesting. And so I think even they realize, even though they had the market pretty much cornered, that in order to keep their customers engaged, they had to start adding new things to their site. Does that help? Amelia, does that answer your question?
Yeah, sorry, I had some troubles with the app.
That's okay. I was like, did she ask a question and then run away? Okay. Any other questions? Okay, then okie dokie. All right, so I hope I want everybody also now just to get a pen and a piece of paper, or if you're on your laptop, open up a new document or whatever. I'm going to have you do some writing and typing in the next couple of minutes. And what you're going to write, you probably won't be able to write it on a phone. It will be difficult. So I'll just give you a second. If you're on a laptop, maybe just open up a new document. Or if you're on to good old pen and paper, just make sure you've got some of that around. And it should work. Wait. There we go. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's hope that this works. Present. Okay, so what we're going to do for the rest of our session today is we're going to be looking at your customer retention on your particular site or app or product. There are 3 main parts of customer retention. The first is community. The second is acknowledgement / rewards, you could say. The third is customization. So I want you all to write down either on separate pages or, you know, just make 3 categories right now. write down community, write down acknowledgement, and then write down customization. And right, okay. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. I hope everybody has that written down.
What is the third one? Sorry.
Customization.
Yes, thank you. Community,
Acknowledgement.
acknowledgement, and customization.
Thank you.
All right, everybody got it written down? Okay, so for community, right? It is it's important for you all to remember that your customers, your clients, people coming to your site and people coming to your app, they're all actually real people. They're not just kind of like users out there in like the internet void, right? These are actual real human beings, real people that are coming to your place. For most of us, and this has a lot to do with human psychology, but for most of us, if I come to a community and I connect with someone else, or I see someone else active in that space, if I know sort of someone else in that space, I will want to keep coming back, because humans crave connections with other humans. That is one thing that kind of keeps us coming back to places where we can continue to engage with each other. So you need to make sure that you give these very real people who will be coming to your site and your app, etc., give them a reason to come back and connect with other people. You showcase the users that you have on your site, you know, let them do some blogs, let them upload images, let your users generate their own content and share it with your site. Maybe some folks are driven by competition. You can have them compete against others. They can compete against themselves also, which is fine if they have personal goals. But for many people, competing with somebody else also gives them a sense of connections. For example, on maybe, you know, Facebook or Instagram or one of these other sites, when someone tags you, right, or someone @s you, someone mentions you, that makes you come back, right? So maybe think about if there's some way that you can incorporate that. Maybe you follow certain people and you want to keep coming back and checking in with on what they're doing. You know, you follow celebrities on Instagram. Community and creation of a community is a huge reason why we come back to a lot of our favorite products. So I'm going to give you all, I just want you to take 2 minutes right now. And it doesn't have to be pretty or even full sentences. You can just jot down some thoughts, some bullet points. I want you to write down just a few things that you intend to do to create a community with your product. We won't chatterfall this. This is just for you in your prototype design.
Sorry, Sandy, can you please come again?
Yeah, sorry. What are the things that you intend to do to create a community with your product/service? As CEO, as founder, what are the things you are going to do to help people find a community with your product on your site, with your service?
Sandy, I just want to make sure today we're finishing right on time, right? At 4 o'clock?
You mean in another 20 minutes?
Yeah, sorry. I forgot that you guys are in different countries.
Yeah, I will try my best. For people who want to stay about 5-10 minutes afterwards, we can do some sharing afterwards. But yeah, you're welcome to leave after 20 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so time is up for that one. Just keep those answers to yourself at this point. Now, the second category is acknowledgement. So it's really important when your customers come to your site or use your product that literally every single thing that they do, every action that they do, that there is some sort of purpose behind it, that it takes them to something else, that moves them forward in their experience, knowing that I can click this button and I will get moved into this area. That in and of itself is an acknowledgement. I know if I click here, maybe I will get something new. Maybe I get a reward. Oh, sorry, Hassan. I did not see you there. 1 second. Maybe if there's a competition on, maybe I win that competition on your site and I receive some sort of acknowledgement. Maybe there's a leaderboard. Maybe I can do weekly challenges and I get my own kind of prize at the end of it. Maybe my name gets featured on your website as, you know, Traveler of the Week. So I want you now to take 2 minutes again and think about, what are you going to do with your product or your site to acknowledge your customers and your clients, to make them feel a bit special, to make them feel kind of a sense of, hey, that was really cool and really fun. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes starting now. I'll type it in the chat box too. All right, you got 10 more seconds, and then we'll go to the last one. Okay, cool. All right, so stop with that one, and then we'll go to the final one. So this one is customization. And this one is one that I really like also. If an app or a business or a product really knows me, I mean, It sounds a bit creepy, but there's also issues around that. But if an app or a business really knows me and delivers for me the things that are meant for me, then I feel noticed and I want to come back, because I feel like I was using with Spotify. I feel like Spotify gets me. Spotify understands me because it notices my history and it will give me suggestions based on that. Right. And the more I use it, that's kind of how the algorithm works. The more I use it, the more customized and the more targeted towards me it will become. So if a site knows, even a news site, if a news site knows that I like articles that I like sports, maybe I will get articles on sports. If a site knows that I like politics, maybe I get articles on politics. So I want you now to take 2 minutes and again, jot down, how are you going to personalize your app, your business, your product? How will you customize it so that individual customer will feel, man, this business really knows me. This business really gets me, because that is what makes them keep coming back. So take 2 minutes for customization, please, now.
Could you type the question into
Oh,
the chat?
yes, I'm
Thank you.
sorry. All right, 10 more seconds. All right, okay. So from now on, I want you to eat, sleep, and breathe community, acknowledgement, customization. Those are the big 3 of customer retention. And that will be key to making sure that people come back and use your product. And it's not a thing where they download it once and then they disappear. So I'm going to share my screen very quickly. And oh, that is not sharing my screen, is it? And I will show you some examples very quickly. All right. So some examples. I wanted you to think of your own before we show you some examples. So for community, so how do you make people feel that they're part of a community? Like we mentioned, you can have users tagging one another, You can have people create profiles as part of your community. People can follow each other. Somebody else is doing this really cool thing. I want to follow them. Maybe you do something with voting that's sort of participatory, some sort of democratic decision-making on the site, checking in on other users. So like with Facebook, I use Facebook, but obviously I check in on all of my other friends there as well. Commenting, liking, reactions, emoticons, obviously, leaderboards, if it's a competition, also pairing people up based on their interests. And so this is one that I like, because I think for a lot of people, if you're offering, like I was talking to Marco about this, that maybe I am a single woman who wants to travel to, I don't know, Antarctica, and I have nobody to travel with. And I would never probably meet someone through my normal channels. But if I could go to a travel app and I know that there is someone sitting behind this app who's going to pair me up with someone else who wants to go to Antarctica with me, that's a win. Acknowledgement, small skills. So even small kind of milestones, like at SOAP, we have the mini skills so that you feel like you're moving through something. Badges, sound effects. This is underrated, but think about when you have apps or site or something and you get really fun, a drum roll or kind of a fun sound effect. That's really nice. It makes you have a good experience. Every step is noticed. So again, you move from, module 1 to module 2. There's a progression. Privileges and more access. So maybe, on like a running app, maybe by the time you've logged 100 miles, maybe it unlocks your access to another part of the site. Gifts, being able even virtually to have people get to send gifts. The streak or the threat of taking away the streak. If you don't come back and log in before midnight today, your streak's going to disappear. Unlocking something. We'll take a look at this in just one second. Goal setting. So I think, whose did I just look at? I think Tamia had just sent around her prototype where every week you assign yourself a particular goal and then you check back in. And then if your goal is achieved, then the site acknowledges you. Congratulations, goal achieved. Customization. So again, this is kind of straightforward, but it's some of the same things will be there. In addition, customized news feed for me. The first things that I click on, my first choices might lead me in a certain direction that is customized to me. You don't necessarily have to do a quiz or something at the very beginning, but collecting some data on your users and then seeing what their habits are, you can customize their experience. Instructions based on my individual needs, again, sorry, just to use Marco's example because it's on my head, like I should be able to say, I want to go to an English speaking country that has a lot of diversity, where I can get vegetarian food, something like that. And so me as a person, my tastes, my habits, my needs are logged so that Marco's site, maybe the next time around, comes up with a suggestion of somewhere for me to travel where I can get all of those things done. So, okay, let me stop sharing my screen really quickly. Are there any questions on any of that at the moment? No, okay, cool. And just very quickly, and then you can look at this also on your own. So the kind of the inspiration for how School of Future is laid out and is presented visually was taken from a site called Duolingo. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Duolingo, but it's an online language learning app. And let me, I'll just put it in. I think I can do this. Yes. I'm going to pop it in. Nope, not the dictionary, Iyad. It's an online language learning course that I will just also share with you now. You should be able to see this. I don't know why I can't make this thing go away. Right, so basically, so I haven't really done much on it, but you can kind of see from here. So you can create your profile. You can set your own daily goals. You can take a placement test to see where you need to start. So to determine which level you're at. Maybe for folks designing, athletic apps, it would be good to know if you're a beginner athlete or a, experienced one. You can start with letters. As you pass letters 1, you get to go to letters 2, you get to go to letters 3. Once you finish that, then you unlock this little castle thing where you get access to all of the other things, how to, I set mine from English to Hindi, what different animals are in Hindi, what some activities are, then you sort of go through this. And then also when you, I wonder actually what this part says too. Yeah, I haven't really created a profile yet, but if you get a chance, you can play around on the Duolingo site, the one that I've just linked in there, because they have really cool ideas, especially on how to acknowledge and reward people that make it sort of through different stages. And that's not just true for an online learning course. That's true for many of the apps that even you all are designing. So having something with sound effects, something with, like a fire comes out, something fun happens, ta-da, things like that. So when you do get a chance, then you can check that out on your own. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to do before we say goodbye, and I want to actually get one second. So I wanted to get your feedback. So we can so I have one activity that I need you all to do when we're finished today, and then share that with your teams, which is basically writing down your customer journey while all of these things are still kind of fresh in your mind in terms of community, acknowledgement, and customization. But if you want, we can spend the next 15 minutes before we actually say goodbye. And I can put you into rooms where you can discuss your ideas with each other for customer retention. So it is up to you. You can let me know in the chat box if you have to go right now, that's fine. If you want to stick around for another 15 minutes and speak about customer retention, then I can put you into breakout rooms. That's okay if you have to go. Don't worry. So for those that have to go, let's do this. We'll let whoever needs to go, we'll let them go. I'm not going to force anyone, but before you do, I want to let you know what the task is. Hold on. Okay, so I want everybody, when you leave today, I want you to just draw out something like this and share it with your teams. And I'm making you do this because this is something that you will anyways need to do And if you do it now while it's on your mind, it's going to be so much easier. So I want you to draw something like this, which is your customer journey, keeping into account their community, their acknowledgement, and their customization. So this is what Kelsey did for Duolingo. So customer comes there because they want to learn a language, insert customer reason to learn a new language, you start getting data. Customer chooses goals and frequency. So that's goal setting, moving towards acknowledgement. When customer finishes their streak, gets some answers right, they get fireworks and they get points, that's acknowledgement. Customer is reminded to stick to her streak to not lose her points. So that's customization, because the app will send you a reminder, hey, now, you know, it's almost the end of the day, you're going to lose your streak if you don't do this. So I want you to create something very simple, just like this, where you show your customer journey when it comes to community, acknowledgement, and customization. Cool. So for those of you that have to leave, if you can send that in your teams by tomorrow, that will be great. Yes, Hassan, I can send, I don't know what I can send in the WhatsApp chat, but bye for everybody who has to leave. Bye. I'll stick around for about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes for anyone who wants to stay and discuss in the small group.
Bye.
Bye.
I got a question if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's about Soph, or is it about like our project?
Is what?
The thing that we're supposed to be doing now in
The
groups.
customer journey.
Yeah.
That's
It's
about
about
your
Soph
yeah.
or about
No,
our
that's about your product. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's yours. Yeah. So we just need you to compose your customer journey when it comes to the community, the acknowledgement piece, and the customization piece. Yes, Hassan, I can probably do that. Send that paper around. Okay. So there are still 6 of you. Would you like to go into breakout rooms very quickly to discuss this now?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So there are 6 of you. Should I do 2 rooms of 3?
Yeah, cool.
Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will give you 2 rooms of 3. And then how much time do you want? 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
10 is enough, I think, for
Yeah, 10 is enough.
10 is enough, right? All right, cool. So I will create your rooms now just for 10 minutes. And I want you to just tell each other, talk to each other about your customer journey, about the community acknowledgement and customization, and then give each other suggestions, because you are each other's best resources. I'm going to put you randomly into rooms. Cool?
Can you put me with Lara and Timea, because I'm really lazy and I want to speak German?
That's awesome. I didn't even consider that. Well, Lara and Tamia, is that okay with you? Would you like to have your session in German?
Sure, that's fine.
And then I can go on Duolingo and learn German and come and listen to you. Okay, that's cool. I am sending you into rooms now. One sec. All right. Go. I think I did this right. Unassigned. So then this is room 2. Yeah, then Hassan, you should see your thingy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, see you.